Hello? Hello? I see Terry Lambert. I see Tommy, who I think. Hi. Are you
I'm
Tommy?
I'm still learning.
You're doing good. You figured it out. Have you been on our calls before?
No,
Have you used Zoom at all? Never?
never.
No. Oh, well, good. Look at you. You're ahead of the game.
Hey,
Yes. Hi, I hear you.
Harry.
Yes, I hear you. Hello.
Oh, you don't see me. You see my picture.
I know. I actually see your name. Like it just says Terry Lambert.
I wonder why that is.
I don't know. At the bottom left, is there like a stop video button or a start video button? It looks like a camera.
Oh, it's at the top.
There you are.
That's Tommy.
Yes.
That's Tommy.
You know
Yes.
Tommy?
Yeah.
Oh,
That is Kim's brother.
Kim
Kim Hollinsworth's brother.
Kim Hollinsworth's brother. Okay. There's a lot of
Tommy is
Kims.
from Roanoke.
Yay! I'm so glad you're on. Cool. It's nice to meet you, Tommy.
Well, hello. Nice to meet you.
Hey, Tommy.
Hello.
Who's standing there with you? Somebody's with you. When Terry talked, I thought it was her or him or whoever that is.
I have my son, Ben.
Oh, okay. Hey, Ben.
Benjamin.
Hey, Ben. How are you? I like your glasses. Do you like mine? They're a little goofy. Mine are a little goofy. Yours aren't. Yours are good.
All right. He was curious of who's talking in here.
I'm sure he is. Yeah.
We've been putting the DDR Prime on him.
Yes. And
Yeah.
he likes it?
He doesn't seem to mind it a bit.
Good.
Well, how do you think it's doing, Tommy?
Well, we think it may be helping some. It's real funny. We started putting it on him, and he did become more talkative.
Yeah.
It's still unintelligible, but he wants to engage in conversation more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's good.
That is cool. Have you tried Copaiba at all?
No, I haven't.
Okay, well, add that to your list. It's kind of newer for us. We only started carrying it in September, but it does some pretty amazing things too. So good option. And now that Terry has told me you're Kim's brother, you are so clearly Kim's brother. It's ridiculous.
Well, it's a little scary, isn't it?
It's a little scary, yeah. That's funny.
So you have construction going on at the Grimm house?
Oh my word. Do you want me to show you? I'll take you on a quick tour because we have a minute. All right. Okay. I'll turn you around. So I'm sitting in the corner of our new room, but remember how the table was in here?
Yeah.
We'd already moved in and then we had to move out again. And there's where the wall used to be.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
So I'm sitting on what used to be the porch, obviously, and now it's a part of the house. That wall just came down this week. So yeah, it's crazy. And it looks better inside. Hold on. I mean, it's a mess. It's just construction right now, but see, that's what we're going to be able to see from the whole house. That's really nice.
Yeah.
That's all windows. Yeah.
That's going to be worth it.
Yeah, it will be worth it. We just were premature in taking walls down because the kitchen people who are coming to measure for the cabinets aren't even coming until the 21st. So we really could have put it off a little while, but we're like, oh, I really want to see out the windows. So now we're going to live in this mess for, I don't know how long it'll take for cabinets to come and be installed and all that. But anyway.
Oh, well.
At least we can see out the windows.
Yeah, that's true.
And today was nice. So we opened the windows and there was like a breeze in the whole house. So that was really nice. So.
Oh, that's good.
Okay. All right. Well, so guys, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Today, my goal was to talk a little bit more about the ins and the outs of the compensation plan. So actually, I'm going to pull up really quickly while I have you here. Let's see. Actually, before I do that, I would love for somebody to share something good that's happened this week. And it can be multiple people because it's just a fun way to start out the call. I think that it's it makes me happy to hear. It could be an oil usage. It could be something in your business great. Whatever it's going to be, I would love for you to share. And so you know, if you haven't used this before, there's a raise your hand feature. I don't know how to use it, but people use it all the time. Or if I can see your picture, you can just raise your hand. Or you can just unmute yourself and talk. So do I have any volunteers for sharing something good from their business this week? Donnie, yay! Good, Donnie, go. Hold on, I'll unmute you. Hold on, don't touch anything. There, you can talk.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Okay. I was able to use our new Emerge protocol and actually set up a wish list appointment for someone who had dropped their LRP this week.
Yes.
So I'm really excited about that. So we're going to do that next week.
That is very exciting. Awesome. Yeah. And how long has she been enrolled?
She actually just enrolled over the summer, but she had previously lost her employment, now got rehired. So she's, ready to jump back on the bandwagon. I think I just really want to make sure that she knows that it's morally about her and not necessarily about the product. I just want to know I want her to be taken care of.
Right. Make sure she's getting the most out of her membership and getting products she needs.
Mm-hmm.
So if you wouldn't mind, can you share with us what that looked like a little bit? Just give us a quick rundown. Well, let me start it out. So Donnie messaged me the other day and she said, Lacey, what do I do? This girl dropped her LRP. What should I do? And I said, well, I don't know. What do you think? And then Donnie answered her own question. And she's like, well, I'll try to set up a wish list appointment with her. So I think that's how the conversation went. Right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yes.
And a wish list conversation is basically the same as like a wellness consult, which is something we try to do with everybody after they first enroll, right?
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
So what did you do? How did you get her to commit to that?
Well, I mean, she lives in Clayton, so she's about 2.5 hours, what I would feel about 2.5 hours from here. Mm-hmm. So basically we're going to do it kind of like you and I are doing it here. We're going to do it over a Zoom call. And basically I just sent her a text message. I said, I didn't say anything that she had dropped about her LRP at all, actually. Mm-hmm. I just called to check up on her and say, hey, just really wanted to see how you were doing. Pretty simple for her because we have a really good, close relationship.
Good.
And basically just asked her, I said, hey, I realized, you haven't made or placed your order this month. Do I need to help you make a wish list for what you may need? Mm-hmm. And she was like, yes, that would be great. She goes, she doesn't use our vitamins currently. And so she's kind of looking into redoing some health concerns as well. So it really just worked out perfectly.
Yay, good. So she actually was glad you reached out to her. A lot of times that's the big thing. We're like, oh, they're going to feel like we're annoying them or whatever. And we're not annoying them. So that's really cool.
And I love Emerge for the lovely protocol that we can go by because I literally use the entire scripts. Yes.
Yes. Very good.
Yeah.
So if you guys don't know, the Emerge training is really, really helpful training that it's all sales training and it's not specific to doTERRA, but it works really well with doTERRA. Mm-hmm. So we've gained a lot from that and a lot of people are doing that as an investment into their own businesses. But Donnie, I wanted to point out that I do see your new ceiling that you were describing to me. That looks pretty cool too.
Oh yeah, you see this lovely copper ceiling right here.
Copper ceiling.
Yeah, it's rolled copper, the entire thing. So yeah. Sitting in the living room with Christmas lights today.
I love it. Okay. Thanks. Let's see who else joined the call really quick. We've got Rachel and Karen is here. Lorena. And correct me if I'm saying any names wrong. And Jenny and Terry and Jenny, I already said. Oh, Wayne's there too, of course. Wayne's always hovering in the background. And Tommy. Yay. Okay, this is a fun group. All right, so I'm going to switch over. Does anybody else want to share anything? Good? Yes?
I can share.
Yay, share, Jenny. You always have good things.
Well, I'm participating in the oil study, and I have about 20 people that are going to be participating. So that's been huge. I've been working really hard on that. We did our first orientation session on Saturday. Had several people come, but I have another one scheduled for Monday. So lots of excitement and good things there.
That is good. We have had some major success with the studies too. We actually started it randomly right before Tanya posted about it. So we're kind of a week ahead of you guys. But it's going really, really well, and there's major excitement about it. And we personally got 11 people to participate and a bunch of other people from other team members. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty incredible. And if you guys don't know about studies, we can talk about that a little bit at the end. Just put a pin in it, maybe. Actually, let me put it in the chat. If we have time, we can talk about studies a little bit.
What I've been so excited about is just there's so many people that I have even invited to classes. I mean, probably for like a year.
Yeah.
and they haven't come. They've actually said, sure, I'll do this. So that's been really good because they've been on my list for a while, and finally they're gonna, try the oils and getting them plugged in. So
Yeah.
that's exciting.
I love it. Well, my favorite part is that when you do studies, you're sampling people. Like, we all want to sample people, but you're doing it in a structured way so that you're not just giving away stuff without like this, kind of structure that will pretty much, I mean, I think we'll see how it turns out, but it's definitely a more, what's the right way, effective way to sample so that we get results. We aren't just handing out oils and hoping for the best kind of thing, guiding them and, bringing it at the end to a class, that kind of thing. So yeah, I really like it a lot. I'm glad you brought that up. Thanks, Jenny. Okay, so some questions came up today. And if you have questions while I'm talking, go ahead and put them in the chat, or you can raise your hand, but I'm actually not going to look at this of you guys, so I won't be able to see you while I'm sharing my screen as much. And I'm going to talk more about the ins and outs of the business plan or the compensation plan with doTERRA, because it can be a little bit difficult to understand. All right, tell me if you can't see what I'm describing. So right now I'm opening up a PDF of the Power of 3, and I'm starting with Power of 3. Well, yeah. I'm starting with Power of 3 because I find it to be the easiest thing to focus on when you're just getting started in terms of how to build. Oops, I'm not opening the right picture. Let's see. Okay, there we are. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So this just is kind of if you have ever seen the Pay It Forward movie, has anyone seen that movie? Pay It Forward. So I really like that movie. It's older. It was 90s, I guess, maybe. But it is all about just helping people, right? If we do one thing for 3 different people and then they do one thing for 3 more people, think of how that just exponentially grows and grows and grows and grows. So it's the same for our doTERRA business. So our first goal can be to help 3 people set up an LRP. And if they do that, and they have 100 to 150 PV every month, and total you guys have a 600 OV, so that's overall volume, then you will earn your $50 Power of 3. So you've helped 3 people into this wellness lifestyle. They see all the amazing things our products can do, and they order on a regular basis. It doesn't have to be a builder necessarily, but it should be somebody that you have talked to and is really kind of committed to doing doTERRA, to ordering on a regular basis. And that's a conversation you might want to have and be open with them. Hey, do you want to set up your LRP? This is something to do at the Wellness Consult even. Help them come up with that wish list. Help them implement using their oils and using everything so that they're going to be a solid orderer every month. And so every month you can earn this $50, right? So then your goal is to help them do the same thing. We want them to get that $50 bonus as well. And you can see you may have other people that are on your front line and they're not ordering, but they will actually help with this bonus, because it's not just that these 3 people have 100 PV LRPs, which is loyalty rewards. It's that overall, you and everyone on your front line combined, plus these 3 people who are doing that 100 LRP, there's a total of 600 in volume. Does that make sense? A little bit, yes?
Yes.
This bubble of people all together is at least 600 OV, okay? And within that bubble, there's 3 people that have 100 LRP, okay? All right, so then the next step is for them to do the same thing, okay? So we want to help these people here get their 100 LRP and their $50 Power of 3 bonus. Sorry, I'm throwing around a lot of acronyms. If you're new, then that can be confusing. LRPs, loyalty rewards order, okay? PV is point value. And it also stands for personal volume, and we use those kind of interchangeably. But personal volume is just your personal point value, okay? OV is what your overall volume is for your whole team, okay? All right, so here, let's see. If you want to get your 250 bonus, then you help 3 people get their 3 people to get an LRP, okay? So it's just like that Pay It Forward. We're just helping them do that same bubble of 600 OV with 3 on LRP. 600 OV, 3 on LRP. Now, there's a place in your back office where you can actually pull it up, and it shows if they qualify. If that person has a qualified template with the 600 and the 3 people on LRP, okay? And then if you want to get your $1,500 bonus, you help these 3 people. So this is this guy, this is this guy, and this is this guy, vice versa, right? Okay, do we have any questions about the power of 3 bonus? No? What I love about power of 3 is people can generally wrap their heads around finding 3 people who want to order on a regular basis, or finding 3 people who are interested in doTERRA products, right? That's easy to wrap your head around. And we can help other people wrap their heads around that, and so forth, okay? The other thing I love is when you build a strong power of 3 structure, you build towards silver, right? And gold and platinum even, because you have these 3 people. And ideally, the people that you really build this level should be committed people. They should be people who are committed to keeping that LRP every month, because you don't want to fill in and find holes. You know, if this guy doesn't order 100, but everybody under him does, the whole rest of the tier is filled out, you're going to be frustrated, right? That's going to be a little bit frustrating to have to fill that hole all the time. So for that reason, I actually like to encourage people to build to the power of 4. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard that before, but power of 4 is even more stable than power of 3. Okay? And what power of 4 does is it also helps you build not just to silver, gold, and platinum, but it helps you build to diamond.
Oh, you're here.
So that's kind of exciting, right?
Hey, Lacey.
Yeah.
Have you did a breakdown of the volume at each tier for the 50? Obviously, it's 600 for the 250. You know, have you broke it down to what the volume is? I'm just trying to figure out if it's enough volume to get silver by just doing.
That's a good question. Yeah, I don't know actually.
We actually,
Let's see here. So this would be 600. This would be 600. This would be 600 plus 600 more. 600.
Well,
no, it wouldn't be enough.
Yeah, the question I had was that on that first one, it's 600, but you're including that each person's $100. You know, each of the 3 persons. So when you move over to there, you've already counted their 100. So
sure. Yeah. So it really is not. It really is not enough to hit rank. It's only enough to hit this bonus.
but I think it's kind of close. I mean, it would definitely, if you think about it that way, if you're building like power of 3, then you're definitely.
Well, so here's the thing: is what happens is you have these other outliers, right? So there's extra volume here and here, and probably here and here. You know, that's going to help fill in for rank. And it's never going to be exact. You know, everybody's going to have like this person over here who has all this volume, you know, but isn't.
Yes.
It's just not. It's never going to be exact. This is just like a, you know, who's my power of 3, right? And often power of 3 is totally different from qualifiers and everything, because you know sometimes your qualifier doesn't end up being on your front line. Okay, so
one of the things we were trying to maybe talk with our builders, if they can focus on power of 3, it'll get them the rank.
Yes.
You know, focusing on the power of 3 will move them towards rank all the way up to platinum.
Yeah.
So,
right. And it's definitely important to focus on power of 3. I think it helps. It's easier for them to wrap their heads around power of 3 than it is around rank a lot of times, because you're like, wait, how do you get to executive? Wait, how do you get to, you know what I mean? Like, what do those even mean? You have to learn those, what those ranks are before you can wrap your head around that. But this is a little bit easier, like help everybody get their power of 3, and that's a solid, just stays the same. But, you know, I've heard of people getting their power of 3 really quickly because they specifically focused on that. And again, it depends on relationship, because when you're making placements, you're going to keep that in account before you think about power of 3, right? You know, if relationships are more important than you getting a $50 bonus, right? So we're going to focus on that first, and then power of 3 and rank come in second.
because if you look at it, like the silver bonus is what, 150 or something like that. You could get this $1,500 bonus without even hitting silver.
Oh yeah.
So you're talking about the topic of getting paid.
Yeah.
This is a pretty good
bonus.
starting point.
Yeah, this is a big bonus. Yeah. Now I'll say 1,500 can be harder to get to. I mean, it's great, but it's still like you're more pegs in the machine kind of thing. So you have to, train your people on how to look for the right people to build that power of 3 with, right? But the first focus is if you find 3 people, then you should be able to help those people find 3 people, right? Because you've done it. It's the same as building to a rank. Like once you've hit elite, then you can help somebody else do it because you know what it took to get there. So, but yeah, that's a good question. We could do the math. I don't know what the overall volume would be in this situation exactly, but I know it varies a lot. So, okay. All right, so power of 3, that's great. And that actually is why we're all here today, because when I enrolled with doTERRA, I thought, oh, I think I can think of 3 people who want to keep a $100 LRP. And there you go, right? History is made on power of 3. And I will say we're reading The Motivation Myth. I talked about this a little last week. And part of the success that I think that I've seen with doTERRA is I didn't set real big, lofty goals. Not that in the back of my mind I wasn't thinking, oh, man, I want to win doTERRA. But I was thinking, oh, maybe later, but right now, what can I actually do? And power of 3 was the first little goal that I could wrap my head around. And being able to check that off was pretty motivational. It kept me moving forward. So these little goals are really important to help you stay on track. Meeting and succeeding at these little things along the way are super important. Okay, so now let's see other accomplishments. Okay, what should we talk about next? This is helpful. Can you see this blue chart? Yep. Okay. You've probably seen this before too. So this kind of has an overview of all of the bonuses, all the ways we can earn. And I would like you to think about these things, particularly the top 3, as things that you could really reinvest into your business. So we don't ask people to invest a ton of money in doTERRA when they're first getting started. It's mainly a time investment. But as your business grows, you're going to want to start thinking about ways that you can invest financially into your business. Whether that's as, incentives to encourage other builders to build with you, or maybe gifts that you give to your new enrollments or whatever. And you can take that out of several different bonuses. One that's not listed on here is our points that we get on every order that we make. Maybe you just save those and use those products that you get for free to reinvest into your business somehow, okay? Be thinking that way, because while we aren't committed or we're obligated to do that, it is really smart. If you're a serious business builder, it's smart to take that and not take it from your bank account, but to take it from what you're already getting back from doTERRA and reinvest it back into your business. And you'll see that will pay off over time. And that can be a totally separate conversation about how to do that. But I do like to think about these 2 bonuses in particular that way specifically. The retail profit, we'll talk about that really quickly. So retail is when someone orders like from your website or straight from you, and you charge them the retail price, and and then you keep the difference. And you can either keep the difference, like if they give you a check, you deposit the check, and obviously part of that will go to pay for the product, or cash. You just keep what's over the cost of the product. If they order on your website, then doTERRA pays you on the 15th, just like the rest of our paycheck. They put that in your paycheck, that retail earning. I don't like to talk about retail much because retail is still hauling buckets. When you sell oils at retail, it's just, it's not the most effective way to build a residual income. So it's not my favorite thing for people to do. If you're dealing with somebody who's just like dipping their toes in, it could be okay. But ultimately, they're going to be better off buying a membership, getting a kit. It's just the best way to purchase, no matter if they're going to just be a customer or what. Retail is just not the best deal, right? So, and we're not allowed to sell at less than retail. Well, we're not allowed to sell at 10% off, more than 10% off. So if you wanted to offer a sale, you could do 10% off or something, but you're not allowed to offer your wholesale discount to other people. That's actually against company policy. So if that's something you've been doing, you need to cut those people off. But if you haven't been doing it, don't get into that habit. And I'll tell you, because people will just start taking advantage of you and start, stop thinking they need their own membership. Why would they do that when they can just get it from you, kind of thing? And it's just, it's not the best deal for them either, because they're not going to earn their own points and all these different things. So we don't want to sell at retail, and we don't want to give our wholesale discount to other people. And we want to teach our teams that too. So when we enroll people, we want to make it known that, that's just not really it's actually not allowed through doTERRA. You're not allowed to have 2 people on one account, which is the same thing, and you're not allowed to give your wholesale discount away. So that's just something to keep in mind. Ignore the preferred member bonus. That's not existent anymore. We've moved over to the wholesale customer, which is way better. So ignore this. Fast Start. This is a great way to get paid. When you enroll someone, when they order whatever their the volume is on their order, you get 20% on that. So if they order a family essentials kit, you get $22 because I think isn't it 110 PV? Is that right? Shake your head. Nobody remembers. It's 110. So I think we get $22. If they get a home essentials kit, it's double that. It's $40, right? I can't remember what exactly the volume is on the different kits, but if you did the natural solutions kit, it's something like $80. So that's great, right? That's fast cash that we get paid weekly. They send you a check. Make sure that your LRP, your loyalty rewards, personal loyalty rewards, is always set at 100 because they actually ping your account to make sure it's set at 100 when these orders go in. And if it's not, you won't qualify to get paid. So we don't want to miss those. So you can, if you don't even know what you want to order any given month, just put something in there so it's at 100 and fix it before it ships to whatever it is that you actually want. Does that make sense? Okay, good. They give you one exception for the entire time that you work with doTERRA, the entire time. So don't use your exception ever, okay? Especially not early on in the game because can I tell you, I did finally use my exception last year, and it was a good thing that I had the exception. So anyway, hopefully I will never need it again. Okay, so power of 3.
Lacey.
Yes, ma'am.
Just to throw in there, that actually happened to me too on a BOGO week.
Oh, no.
So it was just one of those, late nights, wasn't really thinking about it. Got up the next morning, checked my commission for that day, and it was a big fat 0.
Oh, that's the worst feeling, right?
Yeah, so I've actually used my exception too, but we needed that at the time. It was a pretty good fast start check, so I went ahead and did it.
Yeah, right?
My lesson learned.
Yes. Okay, so this fast start bonus doesn't go away though. So this is for their first 60-day period. So our goal is to help them get their first kit and then also help them order their first month's LRP because you're going to make 20% on that order as well because it'll be within the 60-day period. Okay, but also this is when they're so excited about their new kit. It's when we really want to turn them to all the different things that doTERRA offers, right? We want to really have our hands in with them when they're first enrolling so they have access to all kinds of different things, whether it's oil camp, definitely a wellness consult or a wholesale, a membership overview kind of thing. I mean, that's just one of those things that you're not just doing it for them to make the most of their investment, but you're doing it for you too, because this is where we're going to earn the most commission on them right in those first 60 days. Okay. And then if somebody that you enrolls someone, you actually make 10% on that order as well. So that's great, right? And another thing that you want to think about is you want to encourage that person to help that person, So this is like the duplicable nature of network marketing is kind of beautifully outlined in this fast start bonus. We want to help other people. That's where the magic happens, okay? All right, and then 5%. So you earn that even on this person who enrolled. You earn 5% on anyone they enroll. So those numbers can get really high in your back office. And it's nice because you get paid weekly. So if you have your bank account linked, your direct deposit set up, which you should do as soon as you can, then these checks just start filling up your bank account. And you're like, oh, score, I have money in my account, right? Where'd that come from? That's just a nice feeling. So yes, focus on this this fast start bonus. It's a really nice way to get paid. And when you're at elite and below, this is really the bulk of your income, okay? Because this is the beginning. This is when you're enrolling a ton of your people, a ton of your friends and family. You're getting them all on board, and that's where a lot of your paycheck will come from. Okay, now moving on to power of 3, team bonus, paid monthly. Oh, and let me point out, too, because I didn't mention it. So if I enrolled somebody 3 years ago and they enrolled somebody yesterday, I still get 10%. Okay? So that is perpetual. It doesn't, that's, people get confused about the 60 days. The 60 days is just on the new enrollment. It lasts for the length of their 60 days. But if somebody I enroll somebody, I get 10% no matter when they enroll them. Okay? Make sense? Okay, so power of 3 we've talked about already, pretty much in great depth, right? So then we get on to unilevel. Oh my goodness, is anybody else getting dizzy? Just me? Just me getting dizzy. Okay, let me see if I can, where is my zoom in feature? There it is. All right, guys, I'll figure this computer out. All right, so I'm zooming in here. So you'll see here, it's broken down by rank. So here, consultant's actually wellness advocate is what we call that now. Everybody who has upgraded their account with the Social Security is a wellness advocate. If they order $50 every month, they'll get, this is just saying that they'll get paid their commissions. So this is a question that came up in the group today about retail. So if you are ordering, or somebody under you or somebody you know orders retail, if they order 25 PV, you won't get paid, okay? Unless you also are ordering 25 and the total is 25 or 50 total, then you will earn commissions. Does that make sense? So your overall volume for your organization has to be over 50 for you to earn that retail difference, okay, from doTERRA. And then if you have people on your team already, you're going to earn 2% in unilevel. Now this is after they're out of the fast start period. After the 60 days, you go from earning 20% on their orders to earning 2%. That's a big drop. It's okay though, don't worry. Unilevel will still be the bulk of your paycheck, and we'll talk about it, and you'll see how the magic happens. But 2% isn't very much, right? But that's okay, because we're going to help them start enrolling people, so it gets bigger. All right, so when you're manager, that means you have to have 100 LRP to hit that rank. If you don't have 100 LRP, you won't hit rank, okay? Which rank is, you know, a lot of our pay is based on rank. So if you just don't place your order one month, then that's not going to be good. Okay, and then monthly OV is 500. That means on your whole team, you have volume of 500 OV, overall volume, okay? And you'll earn on these 2 levels. So anyone on your first line and then anyone on your second line, you earn percentages on. Now, the cool thing is when you're at these levels, you don't really have anyone down here, so you don't need to worry about it. But if you get further along in doTERRA, for example, there are a lot of managers that have people under them that they don't order. Well, actually, that's not true. It's never going to be an issue. Ignore that. It won't ever be an issue. All right, so we'll talk about that coming along here. This dynamic compression is a little bit hard to understand. I'm going to explain it the best that I can. But actually, I see Angie's on here. She can help me fill in blanks. And anybody else, Wayne might understand it really well. But dynamic compression makes this unilevel like magical. And I might have to draw it out somehow or another, but it really does make our compensation magical. So, okay, we have director here. Somebody who ordered 100 personally. It doesn't have to be an LRP. Now, this is a little thing that you guys may not know. You don't have to order as an LRP to qualify for your commissions. Did you know that? I hear somebody typing. Sorry, I'm just making sure everybody's muted. Yeah, the typing is funny. I like the sound of it, but it's distracting me. Okay, so you can order just as a regular standard order. This is helpful because sometime further down the line, you may come across a time where you'll have somebody who'd hit Premier if this person on their front line would order 100, but that person doesn't want to order 100. And so you're like, well, they ordered 50, so I'm going to order 50 on like as a retail order underneath them, and that counts toward their 100 personal volume, and then they hit rank, and that's okay. You're fine. You filled in that blank. You're not going to lose commission because somebody under you decided they wanted to like screw with you or something. Okay, so that's a nice safety net. You don't have to worry about it for a long time, most likely, but just so you know, to earn commissions, you just have to order 100. It doesn't have to be LRP. LRP only matters to earn points. It's silly not to order as an LRP, right? And for a power of 3. Okay. All right. So we're on to director. You can see there are 3 levels. This qualified legs, you don't need any qualified legs until you get to premier. So we won't even talk about that until we get over here. Executive is 2,000 OV. Director is 1,000 OV. They earn on these different levels of their organization. Okay, we get to elite. Elite is the last time that you don't need any qualified legs. Now, qualified legs are people you've enrolled that have actually got some growth under them, some volume under them, okay? So we have this elite. They have ordered 100 personal, and they have 3,000 or more overall volume under them. So this is the last rank you can hit without actually building something. So sometimes, you have somebody in the beginning who says they want to build, so you help them build and they get a builder under them and that person takes off, but they never actually really do anything else. They're like, okay, I'm done. This isn't really for me, and that's fine. They're in this place, they're elite. They're never going to move forward from that position to the next rank, because in order to hit premier, you have to have personally enrolled 2 people that hit the rank of executive. Does that make sense? Yeah. Yes, no. I'm going to tell you right now, if this isn't something that you've heard before, you do not need to understand everything before you get started. I don't think I understood any of this until probably 2 years into my doTERRA career. I was like, I'm going to hit silver? What? What does that even mean? So don't worry about it. You don't have to know it. I built a power of 3 and naturally it kind of worked out, okay? But strategize with your upline to help make the most of it, but don't let this keep you from moving forward. It's not as important in the beginning as it is once you're just, moving on down the road, okay? So premier, you have 2 people that you've personally enrolled, hit executive. Now a refresher, executive's 2,000 OV. But your overall volume, obviously 2 legs at 2,000 is only 4,000. So there has to be an extra 1,000 somewhere. It can be under one of those legs. It can be on another leg. So hopefully if you have 2 legs at executive, you have a 3rd leg that's pretty close so that you're really close to hitting silver. Now it's interesting here. There's no volume requirements for silver, except for that you need 3 elites and they need to have $3,000. So technically to hit silver, you're going to have at least $9,000 in overall volume, okay, just by default. But helping 3 people hit elite, you get to silver. And once you get to silver, you earn on every single level of your organization up to 7 levels, okay? So if you're an elite, so this is actually something important to keep in mind. Somebody who is elite, they may have a team under them. It's 12 levels deep, but they only get paid on levels 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, okay? The levels 6 and 7 go to the next person in line who's silver, okay, beyond 7 levels. So this silver could be right above them. Say this elite is on their front line, and this is this dynamic compression. This elite is on the silver's front line, but she's not progressing. It's somebody else under her that's kind of qualifying the silver. So this elite isn't getting paid on levels 7 and 8, or 6 and 7, right? Yeah, 6 and 7. So level 6 and 7 go to the silver. So they get paid on their 7 levels, and then they also get paid on 6 and 7 here. Does that make sense? It adds up. That can be a very significant amount of money. So this is great news for builders, because even when you get frustrated that, dang, this elite won't just do it, sometimes you're kind of like, I hope they don't, because if they hit silver, they're going to get these levels that I'm getting paid on, right? If they're smart, they'll catch on and they'll do it. But it's not always the best for our structure for these people to hit different ranks. Because if you already have somebody under here that's qualifying you to move forward, that's all we need. We only need the 1 qualifier on the 1 leg, okay? Some of this is sinking in for people who are further down the line. For people who are newer, don't worry about it. I'm still not quite sure I know exactly what all of this means. If
Do you
people,
want to tell you a way that I can understand it? Really?
yeah, in 1 second, let me say this really quick. Yes. People that don't order, say you have a level 2 and they have 0 PV, and you're like, oh, great, I'm losing a whole level. Not true. You only earn, the 7 levels only count if it's 50 PV or more. So you'll earn commission on a $49 order, but it doesn't count as one of your levels. So you'll get a bonus level. Does that make sense? Yeah, that's really helpful. I like it a lot. I think that I didn't understand that. I thought whatever, but it's really nice. And it means that unilevel is really where the bulk of our income does come from. So anyway, yeah, Ange, what were you going to say? Are you there?
I was just going to say yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
So one thing that helped me to understand dynamic compression better was to sort of understand it from upside down. And when we think about getting paid 7 levels down, that's not really the way that doTERRA thinks of it. doTERRA looks at it as that every purchase that is made pays 35% commission up 7 levels. So they're paying the same amount of commission on every order that's out of fast start period. Well, it's still 35% even in fast start. Mm-hmm. But the 35% on every order is what doTERRA pays in commissions. And they reach up 7 levels to whoever is eligible for that commission. So whoever, and they keep reaching up until they pay out all 7 levels.
Yeah, that is helpful. I like that. Okay. All right, so something you may notice or not notice, I don't know if you're not familiar with network marketing compensation plans. Mostly they do this the opposite. So if you're looking at these percentages, we talked about the levels, but if you'll notice what the actual percentages are. So our comp starts small and it gets bigger. So 2%, 3, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, okay? This is actually a game-changing move from doTERRA's, like the insight on why they did this is huge, because when you look at something like, let me scroll up here if I can. When you look at your, this is you on the top, right? And then you have 3 people, you get 2% on them. And then you get 3% on these guys, each of their orders. And then you get 5% on all of these guys. So the more people you have, the bigger the percentage is. That's actually brilliant. That makes our paychecks almost double or triple what other people can possibly potentially make with other network marketing, because what they do is reverse this. They put 7% at the top and it goes down. Now, that's bad for a couple of reasons. The first reason is that you earn 7% on 3 people and 2% on all of these people. So, if you're good at math, you can realize that's ridiculous. That's not nearly as going to be the same amount of money, right? You've got 27 here at 7% is way better than 3 at 7%. The other thing is, what it helps us to do is to think about building more deeply. And when we build deeply, we build stability. And we build volume for everyone. We help ourselves by helping others. And instead of competing to have everybody on our front line, even with our own downline. And I've heard that it gets really competitive in other network marketing businesses because everybody wants to be the enroller. Everybody wants to be the one to put the person on their front line. And in doTERRA, we really don't want to. We want to enroll people and help those people enroll people and help those people enroll people and so on and so forth, so that everyone can build a successful business, not just us. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay, that's one of my favorite parts about doTERRA. And it's set up for a really amazing culture where we are all trying to help each other. And there's another thing that helps with that too. But the other thing that happens, no, that might have been it. I feel like there was one more thing I was going to say about that reversal, but it's great. And it makes for our paychecks unilevel wise to be really, really the bulk of our income. And I'll show you, I'll actually pull up the chart again in a minute just to show you what the average ranks are earnings wise. And it breaks the imagery is helpful to help you understand where the bulk of your income will come from at any given rank. Okay. So we've learned a little bit about that and dynamic compression. Now we're going to talk about the performance pools. Now this is something that you start to be able to earn once you're a Premier, actually, because they've upgraded it. Now we can get the empowerment bonus when we're Premier. And that empowerment bonus, we qualify if we hit the rank of Premier and we enrolled somebody that month. Okay, so that's exciting. That's new. That actually is a new development just in the last year. And it's fun to have Premiers be able to get that extra bonus just for sharing and continuing to share. And it helps build their overall average earnings, which is really helpful because Premier is a stage where you're really pushing hard and you're trying to get to that next level. And you have to be a leader at this point because you need 2 executives. You need to be able to kind of manage your team and help your team. So then moving on to Silver, you still can get the empowerment bonus. But then you can also get a leadership pool bonus. So there's a leadership pool that has 2% of doTERRA's overall volume in it, and they split it amongst the silvers, the golds, and the platinums, okay? The silvers get 1 of those shares, the golds get 5 of those shares, and the platinums get 10 of those shares. And that share on average is about $150. And the empowerment bonus is 175 to 200, I think, is what it's been averaging. So it just depends on, you know, the overall volume of doTERRA every month and also how many people qualify for those shares, okay? But it stays relatively stable because our growth, you know, is going to match rank advancements, if that makes sense. So it's going to stay about the same. Okay, so after this rank, you jump into a new pool. So once you hit diamond, there's a pool. It gets more confusing. Like, ah. So once you hit diamond, there's a 1% pool that gets divvied up amongst all the diamonds. If you're a diamond, you get 1. If you're a blue diamond, you get 2. And if you're a presidential diamond, you get 3. And I think the average of that share is about $2,500. Am I right, Ange? She's not listening to me anymore.
Yes, I'm listening. I'm just muted. So yes.
Oh, right. Is it 2,500?
Well, yeah, it varies, like 24 to 28.
Okay, right. So 2,500. So are you saying something?
No.
No, okay. For a diamond, you get a bonus of $2,500. That's huge. For a blue diamond, you get 2 of those. That's $5,000. If you're presidential, you get 3 of those, right? Then separately, there are other pools for each of those ranks that they get just individually as a diamond, as a blue diamond, as a presidential. So I'm going to stop explaining that because I'm done. I don't think I can do a good job, so I'm going to stop. But I will point out too, like these 1 plus, 1 plus, 1 plus, 1 plus. This is separate. So you get an extra share when you're silver if one of your personal enrollments gets elite. Okay? So you have 1 share for hitting silver altogether, and you get another share if somebody you enrolled hits the rank of elite for the first time. So you just get it that first time they hit that rank. Now the same thing happens when you're gold. You still get that same share for every person that you enroll that hits elite, and the same when you're platinum. Now when you're diamond, you get that share if somebody hits premier that you personally enrolled hits premier. Okay, you get another diamond share, which is, like I said, an average of $2,500. Okay, so it really jumps up there, doesn't it? Okay, let's see. Is there anything that I feel like I think that's it. Does anybody have any questions about this chart or things they want to add?
Yes, where do you post this chart, or where can we get the chart?
Yeah, this is actually just doTERRA's. There's probably a more up-to-date one. In fact, let's just Google it right quick because
I would like to have access to that.
doTERRA. PDF. Yeah, look, here's the new one, 2017. Oh, look, this is a little different. I don't know if this is helpful or not to look at something different now, but this is just laid out a little differently. Oh, yep. Pools get their own page here. Oh, here's the empowerment pool is listed here. I need to spend some time looking at this because my mind understands the other one and this one's a little different, but this is helpful. I will post that link. Okay. All right. So any other questions? You can put them in chat if you have them. Oh, Jessica's here. Hey, Jessica. Let's see. Who else joined us? We had some people show up. Melissa. I didn't see you before. Pam. Hey, guys. Glad you're here. Okay. All right. So now I was going to talk really quickly about enrolling a store. Has anyone on here done that before? Jenny? So Jenny, actually, why don't you describe it for us? What? Come on.
I pretty much said, contact doTERRA.
Okay, there you go. And they figured it out? They did figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, not. Yeah, you go ahead and explain it.
Okay. All right.
I'll let you.
All right. So enrolling a store, the difference is like in this situation, and it doesn't always have to look like it, but some stores want to stock doTERRA oils on their shelves, and sell them at retail on a regular basis. And they can do that if they meet doTERRA's qualifications. You kind of have to apply. doTERRA is not going to sell them at Walmart or at some of these big chains, but most of the time, small privately owned stores can carry doTERRA essential oils. What I usually encourage stores to do is to have either the owner of the store or a manager of the store enroll as a wellness advocate, and then enroll the company or the business as what's called a professional account. And a professional account is different because it can't have a downline, so it can't enroll people. And it gets a different downline. It gets 40% off instead of 25% off, but you can't earn any points or anything like that. So you have to place your orders in a volume of 500 OB, like a bulk order, to restock your shelves anytime you need more product. You can qualify, and also volume counts as half. So instead of it being 500 OB in our back office, it looks like 250 OB. And they can qualify for the free product if it's a 200 PV special, but they don't get any of the LRP perks at all. Okay. And when they order, they fill out a form of what they want and they send it in an email, and then doTERRA sends it to them, kind of thing. Does that make sense? And those forms are pretty easy to find. I can help you find those if you need them. But yeah, what I found though is they do kind of have to contact doTERRA, because while doTERRA offers it, doTERRA kind of has a way of every time you do it, it's a little bit different than it was last time. So you end up having to correspond with doTERRA, but it's fine. We'll figure it out. It can be a good way to reach a new market. It can be a good way to approach a store who doesn't want to get involved with network marketing. But I do think it's smart to have a wellness advocate or somebody who is really invested in the idea of doTERRA that works at the store, because obviously the educational piece, people will see and say, I thought you could have a membership. I thought this was network marketing, and those people might want to enroll, at which point you want to be able to enroll them and take advantage of building that residual pipeline. And so having a wellness advocate account that somebody can enroll them with is really important. Does that make sense? Does anybody have any other questions about retail setups? I've seen it work really well in places where that kind of magic happens. We have had a retail store. They have ordered big bulk orders, but they kind of fell off eventually. I think that unless there's somebody that's, like I said, really kind of keeping that place or at that place on a regular basis, like a local store, we had dealt with somebody that was out of town. And I couldn't just pop in and be like, hey, how's everything going? Or even offer classes at their store on a regular basis because it was too far away. So having someone who can do that, because most stores who carry doTERRA are willing to have kind of a event there every once in a while, like a pop-up kind of setup where people can learn more. But it can be a great opportunity to reach out to stores and, maybe yoga studios or chiropractors, people who have an ability to sell retail. It can be a good way to get your name out there and information out there and that kind of thing. So we do like it. Now, one thing that recently came up, and this is what I was going to share with you about approaching stores or any kind of business, is this idea of a diffuser trial program, where you write up something somewhat official, and we can all work on this together, but that you take into a store, you call a store or someone you work with. It doesn't even have to be a store. It could be, your tailor, I don't know, somebody that just has an office, anyone with an office, and say, I'm doing this trial period with the diffuser just to see how people like it in the workplace. Would you be willing to participate in this 3-day kind of experiment? Kind of like a study, really, just in a work office environment. And then you take them a diffuser. It could be a pedal diffuser with a few oils, maybe On Guard. I don't know. What else would you put? Serenity, maybe lavender. And they don't have to be even full bottles, just enough to get them through 3 days. wild orange, peppermint. And you take those into them, you take them in a diffuser, preferably in the box, new with all the directions and everything on how to use it. Drop it off and say, okay, here's the instructions on how to use it. Here are some suggestions for what to diffuse. Here are the oils to try. I'm going to follow up with you in 3 days to see what you thought and see if, you might even want to come up with like we're doing with the study, like a, what do you call it? A quiz, that they have to take before and after. And then what this woman was saying that shared this idea, she said that she had done it with like 4 or 5 different businesses, and every single one of them enrolled, because when she called to pick up the diffuser, they're like, wait, can I just buy it? Like, can I just get this? And, then she would say, well, here's what you can do. This would probably be your best bet. And so it had been a really great way for her to reach new people outside of her market and get new prospects. So that's definitely something that you can do. If you have access or work in an office environment, then you definitely should have a diffuser going all the time, because people are drawn into diffusers because they just make the world a better place. So I really like that idea. I think it's a good way to be able to approach people and get, some new excitement about what you're offering. So, and it could turn out, if it's a retail place, it could turn into kind of a retail situation. So, but anyway, does anybody have any other questions about setting up retail?
Hey, Lacey, can you explain the volume thing again? I mean, why would somebody sign up for retail? Why wouldn't they just order under somebody and just sell them the oils and then they could make the profit on it so you can get your LRP?
Most retail businesses are very happy hauling buckets. Like, they just don't get residual income. So they could get a discount of 25%, but most people at retail know that that's not really high enough to be worth carrying or taking up shelf space, because usually 40% is a minimum of what retail people earn on the stuff that they sell. That's just kind of standard. So when you give them an opportunity to do 40% off, they're excited to take it, because they don't really care about, all those other things that we care about. The hope is that they start to realize, hey, look, I could be building this like side income that's steady instead of just selling this one bottle at a time. But if they bought oils at 25% off, they'd have to mark them up more than what we sell them at. Does that make sense?
Yeah, the 40 was the missing link that I missed. Okay, that makes sense to me.
Right.
But you said, but they can't have LRP. And what was it about
the LRP? They can't enroll anyone.
And it only counts half for us.
Which
basically
doesn't matter to them, because they're not, volume doesn't really matter to them.
Exactly.
But yeah, so if they spend $500 OV, technically we only see 250 show up in back office.
Okay.
Well, how'd that happen with Mbella? Okay, thanks, Leslie.
Yeah, no problem. I was hoping that we could hear the answer to your question.
Can I add something too?
Yeah.
So what was it? Oh, yeah. So I just want to clarify too that it is different than, you can actually enroll as a business with a wellness advocate account with using your EIN, which is your employee identification number, instead of your personal name and your social. The business account is different than that. And if you enroll as your person, then you can't also enroll as your business. But if you enroll as your person, your business could have a professional account. So just wanted to clarify that distinction. If you want your business to build residual income and enroll people, then you can set it up that way, but it's different than a professional account.
Mm-hmm. No, professional account is just to get that 40% off and not build a pipeline. But yeah, that's definitely why I always think it's smart to have a wellness advocate above that account. So really, when I do a professional account, I try to enroll 2 people at once, or 2 identities at one time, because, really it's smarter for them to want to build a structure and enroll people. Because we ultimately, that's the glory of doTERRA, is to have that financial freedom. And if we have to carry bottles of oil around everywhere, that's still hauling oil in buckets. Okay. All right. Well, I was going to tell everybody that they should, first of all, take advantage of this time of year because it's a really big time of year for doTERRA. We have tons of new interest and people coming out of flu season who are like, I need oils, I need oils, I need oils. Naturally a time where people are kind of desperate and eager to learn more. So take advantage of that. March is a huge month for doTERRA. Usually people rank advance almost crazily like we did in November. So if you're building doTERRA, take advantage of this time. March and April and May are really big for us. So start setting up for that right now. Be having your classes and your one-on-ones and all of that stuff right now. And then also, if you haven't seen The Greatest Showman, you are assigned to go see it. Who's seen it? Raise your hand if you've seen it.
Me.
I know you have. Twice. No one else?
It's
You
so
guys.
good.
It's so good. So I've seen it twice in the theater, which is ridiculous because I don't remember the last movie I saw in the theater at all, period. But it's a game changer. It's a really good one. So Drew and I went alone together one day, and then last night Ange and I took our kids because it's a good family movie, and it's just so good. It was almost better the second time than it was the first time. And then we downloaded the soundtrack before we even left the theater and listened to that the whole way home, and we were jazzed. We're ready to get some stuff done.
All right, yeah, listen. Here's it.
Is it playing right now?
Here, wait, I'll put it.
Oh.
There's a taste. It's really good.
Wow, she's a nerd.
There goes the Lissy bobblehead. Do it.
See if I can wrap it. There you go. Wait, let's see it. With your beard, it's really cool.
Yeah.
No. Anyway, no, it's really, really good. It's very, very inspirational. It just reminds you to dream big, Anyway, all right, everybody, that's it. If you have some questions, I'll linger for a few minutes. And if you want to add something, you can, or ask a question, then feel free. What movie? Oh, all right. It's The Greatest Showman. So good. It's a musical with Hugh Jackman and Zac Efron and Michelle Williams.
Musical.
Look,
Wait.
I explained
Ain't
it.
like Grease or nothing, is it?
Drew, did you like it?
Yeah. And I didn't know it was a musical the first time I went, but I said, everybody's saying it's so good. Let's just go see this movie. And then so Lane came with me because I don't think he would have come if he'd have known it was a musical. But you ask him, he liked it.
Like it.
Liked it. It's really good.
I'm starting to question their manhood.
I'm telling you,
Drew's beard is bigger than yours, Wayne.
Mine's thicker.
True.
Don't pretend you don't know it's a musical. Just go pretend you're like, oh,
So
maybe.
good.
And then you'll be like, oh, it's good.
So good. You can take a night off and see it because it's
Be a
really
good Valentine's Day family thing, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Go in the daytime because you have a lot of kids. That's going to cost a lot.
Yeah.
I do that when I'm supposed to be at work. I'll sneak out and go watch movies.
That's what you do, really?
Mm.
You got to take your wife.
Mm.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for hopping on, everybody. It's 10 o'clock. It's time to go to bed or at least settle down. Go listen to some more of The Greatest Showman.
Wait, here. Just kiss your face.
Uh-oh.
Ask him,
What?
Oh, good. He doesn't have
did
a
you
shirt
like The Greatest Showman?
Oh, yeah, it's good.
See? Totally
Oh,
good.
yeah, it's good. Need more enthusiasm, Lane.
What?
He's
So
been
we need
listening to the soundtrack all evening.
Yeah, you got home. So I took my phone to a class today, and I was blasting it on the way. And I got home, and Drew's like, "You took your phone, which is the only place we have the soundtrack." So yeah, no, it's that good. It really is. It's a game changer.
Nice.
Okay. All right, guys. I feel like no one has any pertinent questions. So,
This was very helpful. Thank you.
good. I'm glad. It is recorded. I'll post the recording in the group. And there's other videos that are helpful too with better visuals, and I'll post those. They're in actually the intro to our Until Diamond group too already. And they're on doTERRA's website. They're really good. So I'll share those, and you can rewind them and watch them again until you feel like you get a grasp on it. But again, don't worry about it that much. Just know that doTERRA pays you really well. Talk to your upline, strategize. That's it. Okay? All right. Have a good one.
Bye.